And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special
It's an awesome start.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of the Speaker's Interview. Oh, my goodness. It's Saturday, so clearly I don't know really what planet I'm on. I'm a Shaxi. I'm from Ontier. This is my sister Sarifka, and she is also from Ontier. And tonight we are interviewing Countess B from the Kingdom of Lochac. Welcome.
Hi, thank you very much for having me.
Hopefully I said that right.
Yes, absolutely. It's an easy one. It's a letter. That's generally how I introduce myself.
Well, we usually start these off by asking how you found the SCA and what made you fall in love with it.
I found the SCA through an ex-boyfriend. He had a group of friends where I was living in Toowoomba in Queensland, and went, well, we'll go along and see what it's all about. And, my first thing I went to was a council meeting in 1992, and got to know a few of the people there. Really liked the camaraderie that was around, and I've always loved history. I'm a massive fan of history, especially clothing. So I kind of fell into that, and the boyfriend and I didn't follow through, but the SCA was there for me, and I've just grown to love it even more.
So is a council meeting like a baronial business meeting or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. So we call them, they're either baronial business meetings or they're council meetings here. This was a canton meeting. And because Toowoomba, Australia is very diverse. So Toowoomba is 2 hours west of Brisbane, which is capital of Queensland. And there was about 25 people in the canton at that time, which is big for a canton here.
Well, I'm impressed that you liked it going to a business meeting, because I'm not sure that was my first event if I would ever go.
I had no idea what the hell was going on. I walked into this random people's lounge room, and they're all sitting down and they're talking in another language, really. But there were a couple of people there who sat down and explained it to me, and we just, that started that friendship component.
Very cool.
So you sort of felt at home right away?
A little bit, yeah. It did help that I had somebody there that I knew. And then we got to hang out with those people a little bit more. There were small groups of people that we'd hang out with. And as is always a thing in the SCA, you get caught up in different elements of society with the politics or interpersonal issues. And so I fell victim to that quite quickly, and then realised, these people are all there for the SCA. And have really expanded my horizons from that point.
Very cool. What niche did you sort of gravitate towards at first? What were your main interests? Was it the costuming or?
Yes, the costuming, being a wench. Wearing booby dresses. So I remember the first outfit I ever made was a corduroy vest with a poly straight skirt, because we had no idea the internet wasn't around. And I wore that to an event and went, I'm melting, because it was almost in summer. And yeah, but no, definitely the costuming. Loved the costumes. And I really enjoyed cooking, so I got into that as well, and looking at recipes.
Very cool. Did you have a mentor right away that kind of took you by the hand and helped you navigate all the political situations and get you enculturated?
Not really. There were, I'm not a mentor per se, but a group of people that definitely helped guide. There was factions happening in the group that I was in at the time, and it was quite tenuous, and sides, you had to choose sides, and I was very young and impressionable 18-year-old who was just moved out of home into a new city, didn't know very many people there. So, you know, I was, and the boyfriend was, well, we're friends with these guys. So yeah, it wasn't really until we split up and I made friends with others and started talking to them, and that it really helped me in that space.
Get some perspective.
Absolutely. And also I went to Rowaney Festival a couple of years just after we'd broken up, and that gave me such a broader output of what the SCA really was about. Because I'd been to a lot of my local group stuff, and I'd been to a couple of events in the Barony. But yeah, it really was that Rowaney Festival, and seeing all of these different people from all over Australia, and you know, the King and Queen of the West were there, and that was amazing because these people from overseas had come to visit, and yeah, it was awesome.
Very cool. Who was your first, like a lot of times when we first come into the SCA, people get kind of fixated on their first king or queen or first peer. Who was kind of your like rock star that you were like, oh?
So we have a lovely lady in Riverhaven who founded the group, Mistress Glenavara of Riverhaven, and she is that person up here that is the guru of all knowledge, and just amazing to know. So she was very much one of those first people. One of my first events that I went to in the first year was a spring coronet, because we were still a crown principality at that time, and it was Mouse and Corin that stepped up. And so they were the first prince and princess that I had seen, and it was amazing. It was such an experience there.
Very cool. Did you have an ambition right away that you hoped maybe someday that could be you?
No, not at all. I see myself as, you know, I fight because I love it. Definitely not in that elite stage. Never dated a fighter, so never really thought I would ever get to that point of being a crown or a coronet. I never really aspired to lead a barony either. So when I was asked to be fought for, and when he won, I was kind of gobsmacked and floored, and it's been an ongoing joke since then, because he did ask me 3 times. I did say yes 3 times. I didn't quite think he was as good as he was, but yeah, absolutely amazing, and would not take back that experience in any way, shape or form. Yeah.
So how did you get into fighting?
I really liked it. I liked the look of it. I wanted to go to an event called Spring War, and it took me about 4 years to actually get into fighting itself and feel comfortable with doing it. But once I was in armour and in the adrenaline hit, I loved it, and I still do. So I authorised for the first time, I think, in '97, and I've had a few breaks on and off since then. But it was plastic armour and a kettle style helm that a friend made with a metal basket hilt, and the armour I think weighed 35 kilos, and and yeah, it got me onto the field, and just I fought with my barony and fell in love.
So are
Yeah.
you, go ahead, Ripken.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask, are you more of a war fighter, a scenario fighter than a tourney fighter?
No, I love war. I hurt myself all the time. So, so every war that I've been in, I've gotten some sort of injury. So I've realized that I do like tourneys and I love melee fights, all the small stuff. And I would rather go out and marshal a war so that somebody else can go and fight. Yeah.
Yeah, war fighting scares me a little bit. I don't like to watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Because tourney fighting and one-on-ones is so chivalric, and we're supposed to extend each other every courtesy, and then we go out on the war field, and that's not how we fight in wars.
No.
And that's the part. Well, that I like a lot of things about fighting, but that's one of the parts I really like. So wars, I just like. This isn't my thing.
Yeah, I have. And saying that, I fight war at Penzic whenever I go over there, and a part of that is the sheer number of people in the field. So wars over here, we may get up to 100, 150 fighters on the field itself, whereas going over there and there's 10 times as many. And I will generally go out with a glaive and fight beside the pikemen or the spearmen, and just to knock it away. So I don't actually get much combat per se and many kills, but I'm a really good distraction and an awesome dead body on the field. So
Everyone has their place, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Do you often fight pike, or are you a sword and shield fighter?
Generally, I'm a sword and shield fighter, but out on the warfield, I prefer to take out the pole weapons, just especially if it's in a really closed environment. I remember probably one of my first wars, I was in a shield wall and we were packed 5 deep, 5 wide, 5 deep on a bridge. And at one point we moved forward, and I'm not a small person. I'm quite big, and in my armor, I'm not the lightest. But when I got picked up in that shield squish and my feet weren't touching the ground and I just got carried forward in the middle of the pack, it freaked me out a little bit. Yeah. So I'm okay. I'm more than happy to go into a shield wall, but I'd rather be on the side or on the front as opposed to being in the middle. Yeah, it's definitely a control factor in that space.
I get that.
I've told this story before, but I froze up so bad the one time I did war fighting, I got trampled from behind. So it's just not. Yeah.
Yeah. I had one point where we were on our knees and I was frontline of the shield wall and we'd been charged, and I actually they went over the top of me. I've gone flat back and my helm had bounced. So my chin strap ended up over my eyes and my helm had tilted up. And of course, it's right at the beginning of a scenario. I've had to call the hold because, you know, there was such a risk of my helm being kicked off with people walking through. And I just remember feeling so embarrassed for that to happen. And that was actually one of the reasons I did stop war fighting for a while. It wasn't that injury, but it was that embarrassment point.
What other challenges have you met in your fighting career?
My biggest one is getting through my headspace to get into armor. It's one that I still struggle with quite a lot. Even now, I've had 2 major breaks from fighting. So I fought from 97 to 2005. I stopped enjoying it. I I liked being out in armor, but it was just for some reason, like it just wasn't what I was interested in doing at that time. After I stepped down from reigning, I went, okay, I'm ready to get back into this. Had a whole group of people help me out, and I reauthorized. And my reauthorization was against Felix and Eva while they were crowned, of course. Because they're both going, we're both going to fight you, and you're going to do this. And that was amazing. That was a lot of fun. I think part of the reason for stopping the first time was I didn't feel like I was a part of a group. I fought with my barony, but it was a bit disjointed. Whereas the second time I went into a fighting household and have been so warmly accepted in there, and I know that I can fight with them at any time and have major support in that space. And I'm so open to learning from so many people. The guidance that I got was you walk out, you learn from everyone, and you take the bits that work really well for you. And that was awesome. And then the third, and then I got injured. So I had to stop fighting until about a month ago, and I reauthorized. So I'm very excited for that and keen. But one of my biggest challenges is really my armor's in the car. I need to get it out of the car. Okay, it's out of the car. Now I actually have to get motivated to open the bag and start putting my armor on. And the only person I'm disappointing is myself, but I still do it. I still disappoint myself and don't get into armor, and then like, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. But it's very much getting through that headspace and trying to I know that I will learn, but I don't know, it's just a big thing right now.
I think that's true for a lot of people though. Like the hardest part for me is actually getting in the car and going to wherever I need to go to fight. Because once I'm there, I'm having a great time and it's fun. And like, why did I ever not want to go? But actually fighting the inertia of like whatever I'm doing at home and getting there, it's the hardest part. And it's weird. But
yeah. I've taken my armor to events. I've taken it across to Penzic, and I took it to Sport of Kings and didn't get into it. Yes, I know. Okay. I knew
that. All right. Well, the next time you come to America and and you bring your armor, I'm going to hunt you down and we're going to fight.
Excellent. I'm in for that. Because I think a part of it is that motivation. There is that. I went to Sport of Kings with a couple of really good friends, and one of them thought the other one wasn't feeling well. I'm like, all right, so I don't know. No, I won't. And then I may have got a bit of peer fear of Rivkin because I saw you fight.
You totally shouldn't.
No, but it was a it's an idol thing. Like when we talk about people that we admire out on the field, you were one of them. Yeah.
Well, thanks. I don't. And very well.
I have heard that, and I've heard that you would be very upset if you knew that people did idolize you and may have had peer fear.
I don't know if I'd be upset. It's just I don't think of myself that way, so it's hard for me to comprehend. Yeah, because I do have a very funny story about an On Tier West where somebody petted me. So I know it happens and it's not upsetting. It's just odd.
Yeah, I feel you. I totally understand that now.
Duke Sean says the next time you're here and you have your armor, we need to let him know too.
Okay, now I'm freaking out even more. Right.
He shouldn't at all. He's a great teacher. And yeah. So
Yeah, so I one of my good friends has him as one of the guys that he is just exemplifies as a fighter. So yeah.
I'm sure he was at that Sport of Kings too, because that was like not the last one, but the one before, right?
No, he couldn't make it.
Oh, okay.
That was the one he couldn't make it. He was going, but he couldn't get there.
I remember that Mari told me that there were going to be Australians there. And I'm like, where are the Australians? I don't know where they are because and then that Sport of Kings, I actually went to 2 events. I went to Sport of Kings and then I flew down to California because Mari was in America. And she, so I went to Helga's like meet and beat down in the Bay Area on Sunday that weekend. And like, did you meet the Australians? I'm like, no, I didn't see them.
I did a couple of classes, so I was happy with that. And then one of the guys that we were with fought in the tournament, he's actually king at the moment. This is our King Oz. Yeah, so he fought in the tournament, that Sport of Kings tournament.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was a good experience for him.
Yeah, it really was. Especially coming from a small island. We were both living in Tasmania at the time, and it's less than 10 fighters in the group. So, yeah, coming into a tournament of 60 fighters is huge.
Yeah, a little overwhelming.
Very.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you guys go over to the Virgin Countess and hang out and talk to people? Did you get to socialize?
A little bit. I got to know the then B&B of the group. I'm so bad with names. David and Erica, hello.
3 Mountains, they're awesome.
3 Mountains, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. It was so lovely, and got to meet a whole group of people in that space. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
It wasn't a total bad thing.
Are you,
absolutely not.
Are you squired to someone now? Like, what's the fighting household that you're a part of?
I'm a part of House Bomba, which is kind of like so Sebastian of Bomba started a fighting group, and it's not an exclusive household, very open. And one of the baronies, in Brisbane, St. Florence, have predominantly most of the household. But if you don't have anyone to fight with, Bomba will take you in. So it's there. In some of the photos, I'm wearing red and gold tabards, and there's a whole collection of fighters in there. A lot of the knights start in House Bomba, and at the moment I'm aligned with a couple of knights, Sir Bane and Sir Olphus, just as guides right now.
Olphus from Ontier?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Cool.
So he's training me a little bit, which is
nice. Good. That's nice.
Awesome. Cool. Very cool. Yeah. I love that there are always ties. Yeah, that's really cool.
Absolutely.
So when did you start your service journey in the SCA?
Really early. I've always liked to help, like to be in the background and do stuff, and I learned really well to blend into the background until about 10 years ago. So I worked in kitchens. I worked doing cleaning, set up, pack up for events, and got to know some people in that space, and that's how I got to know people around the kingdom. And then I became a lady in waiting for the Baroness of Riverhaven, and I did that for 3 consecutive baronages, and that's part of the reason why I'm kind of keen not to step up as Kingdom Seneschal instead, because you're nutcase.
Because that's totally an easier job.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
during a pandemic.
Has it,
Yeah,
has
yeah, I
it
know, right.
been the most challenging job you've had so far?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I stepped up on the 1st of March and closed the kingdom on the 14th. So yeah, it was walk into a pandemic. I've had a lot of people say, so you must be near the end of your tenure. Like, I hadn't even finished my first year at that point. I feel like it's been 5 years in the job.
Longest
But
year ever.
I have to say, I have had the most amazing support from people. It is just phenomenal. I have increased my team, and they are just brilliant at their job. They really are just, I'm loving it. That's the part that I am loving. For all the crap. You do see the good and the bad of the SCA in this space. When you're crowned, generally the good will always outweigh the bad. When you're seneschal, you have quite a bit of bad, but those good moments make it so worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know when you stepped up that the pandemic was coming? I mean, did you kind of have an idea of what you were stepping into, or was it a total blindside?
I had a little bit of idea. I didn't realize it would become so, have such an impact on society. My mundane job, we had started ramping up and keeping an eye on quite a bit of it. And we just, so when it started, that the first couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. This is not going to be good. And then, hey, Gulf Wars is cancelled. Crap. Cancel my flight. Okay. And sorry, guys, we're closing down now. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely been an experience in many ways.
Because you guys have been able to hold crowns far in advance of the rest of us, you've sort of ended up being a bit of a guiding light to other kingdom seneschals about looking at how to reopen, haven't you? You've done some consulting.
I have done some consulting, which is really weird because we kind of feel like we're the baby kingdom who are from the outside, and there's, because it's the SCA is very American focused, very North America focused. So when we've gotten queries about all this stuff, like, okay, sure, and then we'll hear, well, you guys are running Crown, and we've got watch parties happening, and we're on this, we're the focus of the known worlds. It's just crazy, such a crazy thing to think about. But it has been amazing. There's definitely been a lot of hits and misses, and we've learned a lot from what we've started with, particularly in those crown and coronation points. The biggest advice that we've got is always be willing to be flexible in everything. I ran 12th night over here, which ended up being a crown, tourney, and coronation. Crown, tourney, Saturday, coronation Sunday. And we had 3 capital cities closed down because of COVID. So I lost 90 registrations within the week before the event, to the point where we had people who had flown down from Brisbane to Canberra. They were there for up to maybe 6 hours because they had to return home for a 3-day lockdown on that weekend. Our last coronation of King Oz and Queen Miriam, we had a lockdown in Sydney, in somewhere the weekend before, and Perth the weekend before, and then Sydney flared up the weekend after. So you've just got to be so flexible with how everything will run.
Wow. It's a lot to think about.
It really is.
I've been really impressed at how you all have made the tough decisions and made it go forward anyway. Even when, I think a lot of the kingdoms are very hesitant to do anything that won't involve everyone. And it's been really interesting to watch you guys say, okay, well, we're doing it and it's not going to involve everyone. And then I'm not there, so I don't know if there's like dissatisfaction, but from the outside in, it looks like people are like, okay, this is how it's going to be, and that's all right. And I don't know if that is, but from the outside, it's very inspiring that you guys are making the tough decisions and doing it, and people are rolling with it.
The hardest one point is actually New Zealand. And because our travel bubble has only opened up in the last 3 weeks between Australia and New Zealand for that, for Australians to travel across to New Zealand without quarantine. So that's actually one of the hardest decisions that we did have to make. But every decision that we have made, I think communication is that biggest point. Being very open. The Crown have been open with the B&Bs. I've been very open with the Seneschals of all of the groups, because I host the Seneschals and a Kingdom Officers meeting every month, and putting everything out on the table and going that this is what's happening. And our populace are just amazing, and they truly understand. We've had probably Perth and Melbourne have been our biggest challenges in terms of COVID, with Melbourne being in and out of lockdown effectively for 7 months, and Perth closing down quite significantly a lot, and going into those 3-day lockdowns. And we're now at a point where we have a 3-day lockdown, and then it's a 14-day restrictions, and then the states or the jurisdictions are back to normal. It has been really good in that respect, and it's disappointing, absolutely disappointing, but we're just accepting that there are some things that have to go ahead. In terms of Crown 20 coronation, it was very much about the Crown. They'd been sitting for 12 months. They have a very hectic personal life and a young boy, and they needed to step down. Yeah.
Understandably.
Yeah.
It's been that's too long. It's just too long.
I really feel doing the Crown Between Two Roses interviews and interviewing some of the crowns that are still on the throne, I feel for them. I really do. I think face-to-face and doing a normal activity is quite hectic, doing a normal reign, but having the online component, having everything is so tenuous as well as at the moment, and you really do feel like you have to work that bit harder to ensure that the populace is engaged with everybody, like with yourselves, and you're looking after the welfare of the kingdom. Normally it's just on that interpersonal level, but this time it's on a mental health and physical health level. We've been extremely lucky in Lochac that we've not had a COVID case across the SCA, but we always know that there is that risk of it happening. So we haven't lost anybody to COVID. We've lost members of our populace, but not because of pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
We cannot say that.
No.
No. And that's why I think it's really difficult for when you're in that royal space, or you have that officer perspective. As Kingdom Seneschal, I am so mindful of the welfare of all of my populace. And I call them my populace because that's who I look after. I have the groups, and I have my Seneschals and my Kingdom Officers, and they downline to the populace. So, and we're all here to look after each other, and we're all here for the same reason. And it's the joy of the SCA.
Well, thank you for doing all of this incredibly difficult work. You know, in
I have
addition,
amazing people, just saying.
well, but in addition to doing the job of Seneschal, you also started Crown Between Two Roses and have been really active online, making things happen, filming your crowns and coronations so that the rest of us can obsessively watch them.
So can I tell the funny story about coronation?
Oh yeah, do it.
Okay, the best part of coronation was the guy that you reigned with in his booty shorts.
Henri.
So I'm gonna embarrass myself because Shaxi and I are like messaging back and forth about I'm like, you know, what is he wearing? You know, and we're taking screen captures and yes, so that was very, very entertaining for us and I really appreciate it.
That was his elevation outfit for his Pelican.
Yep, I actually Googled, I got on Facebook and I searched him and I found pictures of his elevation and I sent them to her.
One of the quotes.
Do I know anybody that would wear those? And I think I do.
One of the quotes of his elevation was, because everybody was laughing. It was just so unexpected. Because Henri has been wearing Viking for so long to come out in this amazing lunch jacket.
And it's amazing.
Yeah, and the Queen, they have known each other for a very long time. At the time, Sabine. And Henri, you just hear at one point, Henri go, Your Majesty, my eyes are up here. Yeah, and there was Sir Lorcan was meant to do the speaking on behalf of the Pels. No, it didn't happen. Couldn't do it. Just lost it. One of the photos that you will see is one of the guys holding up Henri's hat behind his butt, while all of the Pels are behind him.
I have to say, it's so well done. And
it's amazing,
yes,
and it's true to period.
Yeah, so much confidence wearing it. Like, to me, it wasn't funny. It was this amazing thing. And I'm just like, I hope he's a nice guy.
He is awesome. He really is.
Yeah.
But it was just the funny was because of the shock.
Yeah.
Like I said, Henri has worn Viking. He's done Burgundian. He's worn Viking. To come out in that outfit was hilarious.
We really not just that, but like your crown tourney. I mean, I think I told you before, like we had people from 14 kingdoms watching together. Just
we had a Zoom watch group.
Yeah, the way you guys have let the rest of the known world sort of virtually live through you has been super amazing. And the Crown Between Two Roses too. I mean, you guys, Shax and I were talking, and I'm like, they do sometimes 3 interviews a day. Like, that's a lot.
That was crazy times. We're now down to 1 or 2 a week. Yeah. And we've expanded our team. Countess Lilia has retired from it, just with life. But we've got Duchess Eva and Duchess Anglin, and we've just introduced Countess Elizabeth. She's joined the team. She hasn't done any interviews yet, and Countess Catalina. So it's been amazing, and it's a bonding experience for all of us as well. Not only just for the interviews, but to just get together and chat and get to know each other that bit more. So Elizabeth and I both live in Canberra. Anglin lives about 2 hours away from us. Eva lives in Adelaide, so that's a 14-hour drive. Catalina lives in New Zealand.
Wow.
And Altani lives in Sydney. So, we've got this group of people, and then we've got our tech people, Magnus, who lives in Melbourne, and Erlander, who's in Innisfail, which is in Tasmania. This big group of people who we've just been able to come together and as a kingdom, really geographically challenged doing this one thing.
It's pretty awesome. We definitely have benefited from doing interviews as well. Our relationship has totally gotten stronger, and it's been great to get to know so many people and form bonds. And I feel a bond with other people that are running shows too, because it's such a unique experience. And to see other people doing it too is so encouraging, and it just kind of keeps you going. Because so thanks for being on that team with us.
Oh, thank you guys. You were the ones who inspired this. The reason that we do this is because you guys started paving that way for it. And one of the biggest compliments I think that we all have received is we're documenting our histories now, which has never happened. We interviewed Fleeg last year, which was phenomenal. We're very lucky at Penzig. Fleeg camps with the Lochac encampment, so we got to know him a little bit better. But a lot of our populace have gone, we don't know who this guy is. It's like, this is Duke Frederick of Holland, known as Fleeg. He was at the first party, one of those founders of the SCA kind of people. And getting a part of that drive is getting our populace to know people from across the known world, that there are shared histories, shared stories, and like-minded people out there, that we're just this massive community.
Yeah. That's true, and he's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, funny guy. But it's just made the known world feel a lot smaller. Yeah. So
For sure, and it's really made me want to travel more.
Yeah,
but then not, because COVID. So I don't know.
I think at this stage, Australia are looking that we may open our borders mid next year. So fingers crossed. Penzig, huge contingent of Australians and New Zealanders going across, because I miss my peeps. Yeah.
We might be having events next year, maybe. Our king.
Yeah.
No.
It makes it really difficult though when you are across two countries, and those two countries have very different responses. So Australia and New Zealand's responses to COVID were so different. New Zealand were going back to normal events almost a year ago now. So it was like May, June. They were actually doing stuff, and we're sitting there going, we really want to play too. We want to do our thing. So we feel we feel how that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did pull a whole bunch of photos of your SCA journey. Should we take a look at those?
Yeah.
Sure.
And you have not gotten to preview these, so.
No, oh my gosh. You know how I was talking about that corduroy vest
Is that it?
and straight skirt? That would be one of them. So I think that was like 94, 95. That photo was taken. Holy crap.
So we all start somewhere.
We do. Oh my gosh, that was my first wayfaring to a coronation event in Politicopolis, actually, and with two good friends at the time. Yeah, and me just being a normal idiot. Yeah. Oh wow. So the two ladies on, I don't know. Yeah, that one and the other one on the other side don't really play very much anymore. But the other lady in the middle, she's active. Yeah, so it's definitely been a while. Again, back in the wench days. Oh, wow. That was I think that was definitely a festival, Rowaney festival, where there was lots of alcohol involved.
Sorry.
That's all right.
And those are the early ones, and then the rest of these are not in order because I have no idea.
That's okay. This was from 2010 when Lilia was queen, and we decided that we wanted to do the Valkyrie, the Valkyrie pose at a baronial. Yeah. So we were all members of the royal household.
I love it.
That was crown swearing fealty, the incoming Baron and Baroness of Mordenvale. That was at an event I called it Spring Court. It's the same event. They were my two newest mouse guards. And so the mouse guard is our youth award for participation and contribution to the society from ages 4 to 12.
I love that.
And yeah, they're gorgeous.
And do they get to sit up under by the thrones? Did they have parents that were on the throne?
Yeah. No. Their parents were out in the populace. But our mouse guard has been going for quite a while. A few of our oldest mouse guards are now knights and parents themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, so you call the mouse guard up, and there are these guys that walk up. So Baron Rufus, Sir Lankin, all come up and sit down and join in. Yeah, they love it. They are the mouse guard.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the mouse guard are the protectors of the queen. So they assist the queen, and when you make your mouse guards, they're your mouse guards. And there was a funny story when I just stepped up and I went to an event, and the Baroness of St. Florian's, her daughter had been made a mouse guard by Margie, my predecessor. And the young's gone, this is Queen Bee. She's like, you're not queen. Margie's queen.
Imposter.
Pretty much.
They're just so cute.
Yeah. So that was that same event.
So are these like their tokens? These little bags?
The bags, yeah. So now they called them mouse guard because the order was created by Princess Crudwin the mouse, and that's what her device is. And so they were her guard, and we've continued that tradition. Lochac is very, very heavily steeped in tradition.
I love that. I love that you include the children that way. It's awesome.
I think it's an awesome way to include kids. We have like story time with the crown, but nothing like this. This is really special.
Oh wow. Yeah, it makes them, it really does make them feel like a part of the society. And our mouse guard are revered in the kingdom. You wear your mouse pouch with pride.
Nice.
Who makes all the pouches?
We have the Worshipful Company of Embroiderers.
Wow.
So it's the largesse of the embroiderers across the kingdom.
Are they the ones that keep up the cloaks too?
Yeah.
Those cloaks are amazing.
Yeah.
I pulled a picture of one. We'll look at one later.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was during a laureling ceremony. The chain had been hand forged. So Lochac, we do wear fealty chains as peers, not just as knights. So we do have the option of having a fealty chain or asking for a fealty chain, and the medallion or token is put on that. And it is that direct link to the crown.
Cool.
That's passing him, giving a mouse pouch. So you can see all the kids around. They're all mouse guards.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the Baroness I was speaking about earlier, where his daughter said, no, she's not queen. I miss Bianca. She's amazing.
It looks like you guys had so much fun when you were reigning.
We did. It was a blast. That was our coronation, not coronation, our crown tawny garb that was made for us. So when Henri won, neither of us were very prepared, and we didn't actually have garb.
Nice.
So we had an amazing group of people who coordinated a whole chunk of garb for us. That was our second day. Actually, that was our second day coronation garb. Yeah.
Very cool. Is that sort of a tradition for your kingdom to have somebody who runs wardrobe for the crown, or is that sort of a special thing that happened for you?
It's not a tradition per se, but it is something that does happen. It depends on how long you've been playing, what kind of garb you already had. For me, at that point, before Henri won, if he hadn't have won, I probably wouldn't be playing anymore. I was definitely in that space of needing to step back and not really enjoying a lot of elements of the SCA. And reigning, this is the weird thing, reigning really reinvigorated my love and joy, and I got to meet so many people, because neither of us were peers, and we weren't very well known across the kingdom. So yeah, that unknown factor and unknown quantity coming in.
Wow.
Yeah. That was our divestiture. So that's Eva. Is it Eva? No. I'm terrible with names. Oh, I can't remember who it was. But that was our step down garb. And that's Eva and Felix winning crown.
Is that the one where he proposed to her, or the one before that?
One before that. And that was our step up garb. So that was at our coronation.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, you can tell the serious face. The nerves are really there. Like, all right, so we're doing this. We're really doing this. That was my first event as princess, and I was handing out roses for the buffer tournament. Yeah.
So had you served on a retinue for a royal retinue? I know you said you did baronial retinue for a really long time. Had you served?
I was on Lilia's retinue. So I was Lilia's head of court prior to stepping up. I was very lucky in that space. And between Henri and myself, we actually had quite a lot of in-depth experience across the household that we'd chosen. So we had a lot of peers, and we'd had a few people who had reigned previously, and they were able to give us quite a bit of guidance in that space.
Because that's a lot to step up as crown and not already be members of, neither of the crown be members of the peerage. That's that can be fraught.
Absolutely. And we've only had a handful of unbelted crowns here. Thankfully, we did have that support, and we have the royalty of Lochac group of people that we can really hang out with and chat and get so much advice from.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Is your Order of the Rose, do they function as a group? Do they do activities or awards or anything?
Not so much awards. We do Roses Tourney and Roses Tea every Roni festival. And we've got what we call a blooming Lochac, because we have our princesses as well, who are the Order of the Coronaria, and they're the ones who've paved the way for the roses. And they are included in everything that we do. So we stand at the edge of the Crown 20 field for the final, and we all hold a rose in that space, and the Coronarias join us. So through anything that we do, the only thing that's very rose specific is we have the princesses bag, prince and princesses gifts that are from the roses themselves. And we have the bag is embroidered by Guthrun, who was the first queen of Lochac, and the prince's bag, which is a water bottle cover, is done usually by Countess Lilia, but they're filled with bits and pieces and things that you think you may need, or fun, like frivolous little bits and pieces, like a princess's key lanyard and that, just some fun bits in that lead up as a gift, and to know that there is always going to be support there.
Yeah. Like a welcome to the group kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the Pelican Cloak that you were speaking about earlier. It's embroidered with the device of every pelican made in Lochac.
It's incredible.
From the beginning. Yeah. So again, our worshipful company of broiderers do the patches on a cross stitch, and Mistress Rowan coordinates the cloaks for all of that. So we have the Laurel's cloak and the Pelican's cloak.
It's very cool.
Thing.
That was my first 20 after I reauthorized, and Draco gave me a ring for Valor. So there was a tradition. The Order of the White Scarf was closed in Lochac in 2015 when the Order of Defence was created. But prior to that, the Queen would receive a white scarf from the Order as their representative. So that's receiving my white scarf on the field in front of the fences.
Very cool.
And being crowned. The crown didn't fit my head because my head's too big. And I couldn't bend over.
Oh,
How do you make that work? Like if it's too small?
I wedged. So my hair, you can see my hair is plaited. It would be plaited to the edge and wedged in. Yeah. And just don't tilt the head forward or bend over too far. Yeah, it was an interesting experience.
You're like balancing your whole reign, like, please don't fall off. Please don't fall off.
Yeah. I got to a point where I would plait the top two plaits across the top of my head and wind them in, and then kind of wedge the crown on there and have the rest of my hair in wraps.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would be tempted to like sew it down with fishing line or something.
So
the same thing, like a wire or something, like
yeah,
wired on the head.
But then I went to Eva, and it would act as a necklace on her head. So I couldn't win.
Wow.
I just have a really big head.
We both do too.
Giving it a rose to a little man. Aww. So, sorry, the princess coronets in the previous picture.
Oh, I'll go back.
Yeah. So they're actually the coronets from when we were a crown principality. When you win crown, you presented with those. So that's what you wear for the 2 months in the lead up to your coronation. So again, it's that tradition point.
Yeah.
And they're amazing.
And they're the original ones.
Yes.
That's so cool.
That's Sir Bran for his knighting. He passed away in 2017. Countess Beatrice's husband. So my friend and I acted as his entourage for walking into the knighting ceremony. That's invocation for our crown tourney. We asked all of the fighters to swear fealty before walking into the crown tourney to ensure the integrity of the event itself, of the list. He did find lots of pictures. Oh my goodness. We have an event called Great Northern Wall, and there's a fire tourney. So that's the middle of the list field for a pelican elevation being done.
It's super cool looking.
Yeah.
Are those like tea lights all the way around the field?
No, they're gas lines.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah. So they're it's all done by gas flare. So they're gas pipelines with small holes drilled in them.
Wow.
And there's a double Eric rope for protection. Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, I do a lot of stupid photos. Yeah. Giving an award to Ragnar from Stegby. Again, the 520. Yeah, the 520. It's just amazing. Henri and I were Crown Prince and Princess then. That was my first event. I did it on my own. Henri was at Penzek.
Wow.
There's a close-up shot of that.
Yeah. So this is Great Northern War with King Sheridan, the rat bag that he is, and Queen Margie. It was the first picture that the four of us had really had together. It was so wet, and you probably can't tell, but Henri's actually wearing gumboots.
Uh-huh.
Because it was a mud fest.
Oh. Everybody looks a little stunned.
Yeah. It's an awesome event. Oh shit.
Uh-oh, we lost our video.
Sorry, no, that was me. I'm back now.
Hello. So being crown in your kingdom involves a lot of travel.
It does. That was landing in Melbourne. So Henri and I traveled. He did Penzek, and I went to Perth. And we stepped up in Adelaide. Our Crown 20 was in Sydney. Our step down was in Melbourne. Traveled to New Zealand, Tassie, Canberra. Yeah, did quite a bit of travel.
Yeah, I don't think people realize like Australia is bigger than the United States.
Yeah.
So basically,
I think it's around the same size as the US, but the difference is it's our one kingdom.
Right. That's what
Yeah.
And it's basically your population centers are around the coasts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 12 baronies, other smaller groups, shires, cantons, colleges. Yeah, it's just crazy.
And so you have to fly with all the regalia.
Yes, and sort of state.
So is this the sort of state here? Does it have its own special like gun
yeah,
case thingy?
yeah. So it's a gun case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. And then do you carry on the crowns or do you check them?
No, the crowns are not allowed to be checked.
Yeah, you have to carry them on.
Yeah, so the black bags on top, they've changed, but those two black bags, one on top of each bag, is the are the crown bags. So, and that doesn't include, we were really lucky because we got to hand over the boxes early, which is all of the paperwork that goes with being crowned. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, yeah, here's all this fun stuff for you. You can have it all now.
I pulled this because that's a lot of stuff to travel with. And you have to travel in order to get to the events that you go to.
Absolutely. And that's why we took that photo. It's like, this is it. This is the last time we'll be taking this much crap with us.
Wow.
Yeah, because we each had a carry-on. So our crown bags were our carry-on. Plus we had 2 bags each. And I think we checked another bag with two other bags with mates. Yeah.
It's crazy. Wow.
That was our coronation feast.
It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was lovely. It was absolutely amazing. But you felt it was very removed from the rest of the populace.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because you're up there at that table and everyone else is down in the pit.
And it is a tradition that the crown and the landed royalty sit at the high table, and it's maybe a couple of others by invitation. Yeah. That was a gotcha moment. So good stuff. He's awesome. He was on my guard, and we got him with, I'd given him a Rowan earlier that day, which is our courtesy award, and then gave him a court barony.
Nice.
Yeah.
So someone commented that we saw your Order of Grace pouch and that you've gotten that twice. What is that?
The Lochac Order of Grace is it's an award that's given once per reign generally by the Queen, but by the Crown, for those that exemplify grace and courtesy to them. I have been privileged to receive it twice. As I said, it's only given once per reign. So I think there's maybe 50 recipients across the kingdom. I received my first one from Brian and Lilia, and then the second one from King Yadai and Altani during their first reign. Yeah, it's definitely, of all of my awards that I have, they are my most precious. They're the ones that are kind of the pedestal. It's the pedestal award. Yeah.
Very cool.
So you'll see I'm wearing a red pouch. That's what the award is.
Very cool.
Oh, that's a Penzic. That was my first Penzic.
It looks steamy.
Yeah. This is the coffee bar. We have a event at Ronnie Festival called the Heraldic Malay. So, and its teams are up to, I think it's up to 8 or 10, depending on the format for the year, but generally it's 2 nights and 4 to 6 unbelts take the field. So that was the year that we combined and fought as St. Florian. And the red and gold that you can see is a house swamp bar. And what Henri is holding, it's a spear. That's the winner of the heraldic melee is charged with adding an item to the spear. It was a pole. Swamp bar won it the year before, so they put a spear tip on it. But it's not a win by prowess. It is heraldry and chivalry and courtesy on the field.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite events. I love the heraldic melee. That's definitely one that I will go and fight in as much as I can.
Awesome.
That's a standard photo.
All right.
And that's Penzic again. I missed it. That was one of the largest, I think that was the largest contingent that we had at Penzic that year.
I was going to say that is a lot of people traveling a
no.
long way.
No, that was my first Penzic. I think we only had about 20 people travel across that year.
That's
Only.
still a lot.
Yeah, I say only. So our biggest one was in 2015. And I think we had almost 50 people travel across.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. But there were representatives from most of the groups in Lochac at that one.
Do you have a storage on site at Penzic that you have tents and things in, or how do you do that?
There is a storage, like one of the trailers down the back. It's the old AE trailer, is what Lochac has used, and there's a lot of stuff because some people only go once or they only go every few years. We definitely put loaner gear in there. I've been really lucky. I've actually got clothes and feasting gear and other bits and pieces. Like I have a pair of thongs and a tankard and a helm that are stored at my friend's place who live 40 minutes away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they've put a couple of bins there, and another friend who lives in Buffalo stores a Viking coat for me so that it's not going to get moth eaten. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of hoops to jump through to go to an event.
I know.
This is some shenanigans.
Yeah. We tagged Ethelmark.
I thought that was awesome.
We may have tagged a few kingdoms that year. That was Neil and Leiden's first reign. Now again, that was our first trip to Penzic.
So fun.
I was Lorcan and I getting an award from the then Baron and Baroness of Riverhaven. Because apparently we did stuff.
Just some stuff.
Anglin and Eva. We decided that we were going to do a late period thing at Roni Festival, and then got photobombed. I remember that one really clearly because I've walked up to Lorcan. Lorcan's a really good mate of mine. I've walked up to him and he's looked at me and then had to do a double take because I looked like a girl. So when we talk about the roses tourney, that's the roses holding the pennons for the virtues, and our fighters, and it's a photo that we take every year.
So cool.
I love that. That's really cool.
It's I generally will organize it and organize the Roses Tea for it, which is our shenanigans get together afterwards.
So tea is in like quotes tea.
Yes, quotes
Yeah.
tea. Roses tea. Yeah. Generally alcohol and snacks. Much alcohol and snacks. Oh my gosh. I stole a hat. So the roses bag, that's what I'm holding on to at the in there. We were trying to stuff it full because Catalina and I were the only roses at the event. So we're trying to work out what to put in there, and I don't know. And Kingy and I's helping me. I don't know why.
You look like you guys are having
It's
fun.
fun. We always have fun. That's what it's about.
Thought this was lovely.
Yeah.
I can go back.
No.
No, okay.
Okay.
It's weird seeing so many photos of myself because I don't look at them. I don't look at photos. And terrible people will ask me about interviews that I've run, and I'm like, I don't watch interviews. I don't watch myself. I hate it.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. That's being made Queen's Guard.
Very cool.
Yeah. That was my first ever Queen's Guard. That was in Athelmark when I visited. I went to fighter practice and I was exhausted.
Look, you put your armor on.
I did. So Maynard and Leodin, who are the current crowns of Athelmark, are the guys in the back in the black.
You look so happy.
I had the best time. I really did. I fought everyone there and it was awesome. So much fun. I couldn't lift my arms by the end of the session. It's actually the only time where I've actually gone. Maynard's gone, let's do this fight. I'm like, I'm so tired. He's gone, just a few passes. 10 passes later. I'm like, I can't lift my arms anymore. These guys were on my fight list for the Roses tourney at Penzig. So you sponsor a heavy and a fencer. Campbell and Miles. Yeah. Bridget. So that Baroness Bridget is Politicopolis, so she's my local baroness. Okay. And we hang out a bit. She's crazy. She's the current social media officer, society social media officer.
Oh wow.
That chick. Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
And baroness of a group and my sanity check.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the building behind you too. It's beautiful.
That space is just gorgeous. It really is. That was our last May crown. March crown. Yeah.
Is this your Pal medallion?
That is one of them, yeah.
Okay.
Is there a story behind the link?
It's actually my fealty chain. And there are links from people on the chain who inspired me quite a bit. The medallion itself, I had asked for a medallion, which was my peer. It was my peer's lineage. And one of my lovely friends couldn't give me a link of his chain. So he carved a bone medallion for me. Oh. And that was what it was presented on. Yeah.
Very cool.
There may be a few pictures of me flashing my bits in that space. Uh,
Well, that was the last one, so we'll go back.
yeah. That was at 12th night, the last crown tourney. The crown tourney in January, which Roland and Taltier won.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing.
That's across all of my stuff that I do with the SCA. That's one of my favorite moments, is to stand with the roses with with my order and oversee and look after the consorts for the crown tourney.
Seems like it would convey such a sense of support and lifting them up for the journey they may be embarking on.
Well, even it's not even the journey, it's that final. You're so nervous. I wasn't at the crown tourney final. I didn't make it to the event, and we don't have to attend due to distance. But those that do, it's such a nerve-wracking thing, because our tourneys are generally best of 3 in the final, and it could be it could be anyone. Yeah. So I really like it. Yeah, I do get a bit involved in that space. Maybe become a little bit bossy, as some stewards know.
Awesome. So I want to ask you about your capelet. You wear that all the time for your interviews.
I do.
Tell me what all the significant things are.
Okay. Rose. Oh, wait, I gotta turn it. So we have the rose. This is that way. Henri's device, because he made me queen. He was the one that I did it for. My county. Kingdom. This is my friend's household. So,
sorry.
We're tangled.
All right. I'm just trying to not choke myself. Almost done. So this way. This is the bumper component. Bumper household. My peer is Mistress Margie, and she was my Pelican and Laurel, but so she's still my Laurel. And so Oz, who fought for me in our crown tourney, and my device. Yay. It kind of represents everything that I'm a part of, and I love it, and it's easy to wear.
I like it.
So as you can see, I'm a little bit lazy when I do my interviews, and I dress from here up generally.
We all dress from here up.
Yeah.
I have sweatpants and sandals on, so
Nice. I have pajama pants and slippers on. So
Yay!
I have underwear on.
Hey. That's always a bonus.
Oh, we're telling secrets.
It's okay, no one's watching, I'm sure.
It's funny though, because sewing during the pandemic, I do from here up first on anything I do, so that I have something new to wear, and then I finish from the waist down.
I haven't finished from the waist down on anything new that I've made. It's all like from about here up, and then the rest is not finished. So I'm gonna have some work to do before we go in person.
I've made one piece of garb since the pandemic, and it was a tube. So I sewed up the side, and I sewed the top and bottom, and then pinned it. And that was my piece of garb that I made.
I think,
Go ahead.
well, you've been kind of busy doing a lot of other things.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit of work.
Have a Laurel. What art form are you interested in?
I like sewing.
I like cooking. I don't like researching very much, or I like researching, but I don't like putting into practice. Uh, I like doing stuff, learning little bits and pieces. So when I approach Margie, she doesn't split her peerages, and I'm definitely more than happy to stay on as her student. But I also research house positions, and I'm quite keen on some German, like from the inside out of the Landsknecht style and the lifestyle of the trust house, and yeah.
Very
I'm
cool.
exploring that little rabbit hole right now.
Oh, really? Nice. Yeah. So we've got an event coming up here, which is Tocal in Moreton Vale in Newcastle, and it's the Tocal Beer House. So very German. I'm quite keen to make a waffen, a Trossfrau dress for it, and then my group is running a royal visit in July in a old wool shed which has no heating. So we're just saying, wear your wool, wear all of the wool. You can wear all the warm clothes, yeah, for this one, because it's going to be freezing.
I have to do mental gymnastics around that July. July is hot. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's weird because we do the same. Our Christmas is like the middle of summer, and it's melting pot here. So my family used to do a full roasted Christmas dinner for lunch. It's like, no, we're doing salad and cold meat, and yeah, that's it. And we're cooking in the barbecue outside. Going to the beach for Christmas is a normal thing. Yeah.
I'd like that to be a normal thing. I could
Yeah.
get into that.
But you guys have like 4th of July. No.
We have a lot of like Native American casinos up here, and they sell a whole bunch of fireworks because it's legal on the
Sovereign
lands.
Oh, really?
And so we have fireworks from like June 20th to the end of July, and it is awful. Yeah. So yeah, 4th of July is not the happy thing where we live. So.
Okay.
I mean, some people really, really like the fireworks, and clearly they like blowing things up, but the animals don't like it. And, you don't get to any sleep. It's one of the positive things about going down to Ontario Westward, because you get to go to the beach and there are no fireworks.
Yeah.
And you get to just be away from that whole celebration. So
like, it is a war zone. Like the 4th of July, it doesn't, the fireworks don't stop until like 3 a.m. And I get up and I walk my dog in the morning, and there's debris all over everywhere.
It's insane.
It gets cleaned up, but
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
They've outlawed it. I live in downtown Vancouver, and they've outlawed it in the downtown area, so it's not as bad. The streets aren't covered in debris anymore, but there's still pockets of people, because they can't police that, right? There's too many people and not enough police. So there's still a lot of fireworks that go off, even though they're illegal to use. So whatever.
Wow.
It's the worst part of living in the Pacific Northwest, I have to say that. And if that's the worst part, then we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all like, no, 4th of July sucks.
My dog hates it.
Right. So the movies lie to us all the time then.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you live in a small town and they do like a fireworks show that the whole town goes to, that's cool. You know, that's magical, but feeling like your neighborhood's under siege is not magical.
Yeah, no, that's completely understandable.
The movies lie.
Yeah. I'd like to say that kangaroos don't jump down the main streets, but they do in Canberra. They don't in most capital cities, but they do in Canberra because Canberra's
Really?
weird. Yeah. Yeah. Canberra has a lot of green space. It's a planned city. So you have the main civic area, and then there's satellite towns around it, and lots of green space.
Nice.
So yeah, I love the green space there, but you just got to watch driving home at like 9 o'clock at night that you don't hit roos, or you can't leave. There's some stuff you can't leave out because cockatoos are really destructive.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
eat the facing, trying to get their beaks into seeds.
stinkers. My husband learned an important lesson about drop bears this month.
Yeah,
About what?
drop bears.
Yeah,
You gotta watch out for drop bears.
yeah, they're not real.
Oh.
He thought they were. That was fun. Anyway,
You need to Google drop bears, Rivkin.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I will. I will do that.
carnivorous drop bears.
Anyway.
Well, so they are actually real, just not in the way that they're portrayed.
Okay.
Koalas live in trees and they eat eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is a drug to them, and so they're stoned 20 hours a day. If their claws aren't hooked into the trees, they fall out.
Oh, okay.
Hence, they're drop bears.
Okay. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. But magpies really do swoop you.
they
Yeah,
protect their nests, right?
That's a real thing. So you walk along and you see people with their bicycle helmets and zippy ties coming out of them, and it's to stop the magpies, or sunglasses or eyes painted on the back to stop magpies from swooping. Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome to Australia.
You learn something new every day.
But we don't have snakes crawling across the road all the time, and the streets are not littered with snakes. So I get that impression sometimes talking to people.
So tell us about your pelicaning. We haven't talked about it.
My pelicaning, the ceremony. So I decided I wanted to wear German, and I conned two of my closest friends, Lochac and Magnus, into wearing German. It was a very, very emotional ceremony. I had asked Sabran to speak on behalf of the chivalry, and the lead up to it was quite hard for me. I had lost my brother-in-law in the October previous year, my dad in April, and then Brian passed away 4 days before the event on my ceremony. And I'd also just run Roni Festival. So all of this huge emotional turmoil at the time. So in the few days in the lead up to the event, I had some chats with Lil, and we definitely went ahead with it. So there was Lochac and I got really drunk the night before because it was because we could, and it was a bit of a down time. I was also living in Tassie. I got elevated at Northern Wall, which is in Brisbane, and I had asked a whole group of people to speak on my behalf. But when Brian passed away, I wrote some words to have that done. And the way that our ceremonies generally work in Lochac is the candidate is either brought up or escorted in. we don't do surprise elevations very often. And then the Crown will ask members of the orders to speak on behalf of the candidate. And so it can be up to the 5 orders. So I had all 5 orders speak for me. And then I handed my belt back, and all of the regalia happened then. But because we're a very close household, Margie was bronze peer as well. So we had Margie and I were there, and Lilia came along, which I was just I was in awe of that she was there, and so happy she was. Yeah. But I waited 6 weeks from being asked to being elevated. I don't think I could have done any longer than that. And the only reason I got that done was there's some pictures that you will see on my Facebook of I'm in the Pelican Cloak, and there's an older lady and a young girl, and that's my mum and my niece. And that was why I had it done at Nethermore, so that my mum could come. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's really
So,
sweet.
yeah.
Does anyone in your family play SCA as well as you?
No, it's my thing. It's all right. My mum thought it was a sex cult. I had to take the events.
My mom thought it was a cult too, so.
Yeah. You know, you're young and impressionable, and they're going to take advantage of you, and you're going to have this, you know, you're going to get dragged away. I'm like, no, Mum, no. Yeah, these are the people. This is all. And before my dad passed away, actually, when I was queen, it was the only time he ever came to an event. Was then. Yeah, just to see me, because I wanted him to see me as queen. So yeah.
That's awesome. So what is your favorite tradition? Your kingdom is so steeped in wonderful traditions. What do you think is your favorite?
Oh, wow. Apart from the roses stuff, there's so many. I think when I really love when the orders are called up to be a part of the peerage ceremonies. I think it makes it quite, it makes you feel quite a part of it, and you know that those people are supportive of you. But one of my favorite things is the salutes at the beginning of a tourney, especially if you're being fought for. Because our heralds do our salutes until the marshalette gives the lay on, and you always salute the crown, you salute your consort, and you salute your opponent. And the opponent salute can be anything from fight well to a hug. Yeah, and that is done at the beginning of every tourney. Not done in every round, but it's beginning of every tourney, whether it's a melee or a single kill. So you would have seen that with our crown tourneys. Yeah.
Very cool. Rifkin, do you have any other questions?
Oh, I don't think so.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we haven't talked about?
No, I'm pretty good. I'm happy to talk about anything generally.
Well, we haven't talked a lot about your reign, but
I had fun. I loved my reign. Yeah. Our reign, we were the 21st crown, so we were the party reign.
would
That's
you
how
like
we
to
rolled
reign
it.
again?
I would. It's definitely something that I wouldn't say no to. And knowing what I do now, um, there's not much that I would actually do differently. I would, yeah, it would definitely be a different experience and a different style of reign. But I love being a part of the royal households. I'm forever grateful that I did get to reign, because you automatically have this connection with people who are on the thrones, and you can empathize and have those discussions, which you just can't have with other people. Being Kingdom Seneschal, that is one of the absolute bonuses that I found, is I can have these in-depth conversations with the crown or with other royal peers and go rah about things and vent and know that they will understand because they have been in that position. Right. Yeah. And we've also got a very strong Kingdom Seneschal history as well. And one of our ex-Kingdom Seneschals is my current direct deputy, because he's just, he won't be taking over, but he knows the role and he knows the pressures and understands a lot of the challenges that we're facing. And he's also in a separate country, so I get to have that different perspective, country perspective, because there are very distinct differences between Australia and New Zealand. Yeah.
And you have to juggle all of those different mundane laws.
Absolutely, because we have federal laws, so our Commonwealth laws, and then we have state laws. And from a COVID point of view, every state is different. So we run under our federal laws, but every state is different, and they have their different public health directives. And New Zealand have different levels to what Australia does. So yeah, it's quite a challenge. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you running a spreadsheet? I mean, how do you track all that?
I have an amazing risk deputy who is a risk manager for a university in mundane life. So, and he's loving it. He's so good at it. We also work with 2 affiliate boards of directors, and the Australian Board of Directors, SCA Limited, is we manage a COVID plan under there, just for those. We relate everything back to the jurisdictions, but right now you can't cater and you can't have overnight events without SCA Limited approval. So if you want to cater for an event, you have to give us the outline of how you're going to reduce contact tracing in that space. And that's just that risk management point. And the same with overnight events. How are you going to ensure that COVID jurisdictional restrictions are in place? Yes. So maintaining 1.5 metre physical distancing, maintaining, sanitization, all of that stuff. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Which is why I keep saying I'm blessed that I have an amazing team of people behind me. I really am. And I've got such a huge support network, and we've got some working groups happening that overlap in different spaces. So they're proactive and productive.
Knowing everything that you do now, would you do it again?
Taking on Kingdom Seneschal? Yes, but not walking into a pandemic, no.
I recognize that was a really weird question. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not. I've been lucky. I've been Deputy Kingdom Seneschal. I've been a Baronial Seneschal. I've got an amazing network of people that are friends that I know I can call on for advice at any time. And I would do it again. But yeah, definitely that pandemic thing is, I didn't get a chance to settle into the role. Whereas now it's taken almost a year to actually feel like a kingdom seneschal instead of a reactive pandemic seneschal. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really intense.
Yeah, I'm somebody who is I prefer proactive to reactive. I work in a very reactive job. So proactive and is my big thing. Yeah.
That having that little bit of control is nice.
Yeah, it really is. And I know people don't agree with all of my decisions. I'm very open to conversation. If you don't like it, come and have a chat. That's how I roll. I'm very open to things like that. What I'm not open to is gossip and hearsay. And that's one of the biggest challenges with having a group so diverse, geographically diverse, is people will see what they want to see and say what they want to say without actually finding out the reasonings behind it. I love gossip. I think it's hilarious. I found out some gossip about myself over the last week and cracked up laughing. I went, wow, they really don't know me very well, do they? That's hilarious. So if you really want to know, come and ask me. If I don't want to tell you, I'll tell you I won't. Yeah.
Good policy.
I have to, the president of the SCA, John the Bear Killer. Somebody else did this question and answer thing on Zoom that they put on Facebook, and I watched it for a little while, and I can tell you, like, I felt so bad for them, because the people were just like the little minutia and they just kept saying the same thing, and I was just like, wow, that is such a thankless job. But I really appreciated that they were trying to be so transparent. But whoa.
Yeah. It's so hard, and it's really difficult in social media life, but it's also, how much do you say? How much can you tell people without reputational damage? Because that's one of the biggest things that we look at as when you're a seneschal or in those positions. And you've got to look at I hate the term, but it's the greater good.
Right.
Yeah.
You really do have to look at it from that wide perspective of the populace. We've definitely had challenges over the last 12 months with the social justice and mundane influences affecting the SCA and the impact on the SCA with a lot of the changes, when some of them are amazing changes, but other ones I'm very strong on perspective. And I understand that you have your perspective, but that perspective does not reflect the perspective of the populace. Right. And that's what I have to take into consideration as Kingdom Seneschal, and the boards have to take into consideration as those legal representatives, because ultimately that's what they are. And I think it's one thing that is not really understood. Like when I talk to our boards of directors, they sign a legal document stating that if something goes wrong, then they're liable. Yeah. So, and that's, I love the STA. The business part of it is definitely a challenge, but learning that business part, I think, is paramount for anybody.
Yeah, I think there is a serious lack of understanding for a lot of people about even what a nonprofit is. I think people should read their kingdom laws and read their society rules and know just a little bit of education would help all of the people doing the jobs that you're doing that much, because it eliminates so many of those repetitive questions that Rifkin's talking about.
Well, I wanted to be like, people, common sense.
Sense is not common.
Yeah. Anyway,
But we also, the reality is we have so many governing documents. So for me, like we have Kapora, I have Society Seneschal's Handbook, I have the Kingdom Laws of Lochac, and we have the Lochac Procedures Manual, which is our officer manual. We have our overarching affiliate policies for child safeguarding and social media, and being across all of this information, as well as the society elements. It's daunting for a lot of people to actually go in, and if you're not a technical reader, then it just blurs. It really does. And like I said, Bartholomew has been amazing because he has been working through to outline a lot of the stuff, and my seneschals will ask questions. I got a question the other night about where is it documented that we need to contact the Kingdom Seneschal if emergency services are called to an event. It's like, here it is right here on this page. Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to wrap it up if you are, Rifkin. Okay, thank you so much for taking time out
from your
on your
vacation.
vacation.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate
It's a good way to start my vacation, I have to say. Yeah.
We've really enjoyed getting to know you even a little bit this year. So thank you for agreeing to do this on your vacation and giving us some time and a peek into your world.
Oh, thank you. It's been awesome. I'm the same. I've enjoyed getting to know both of you as well with the interview that we threw you under the bus on. So yeah.
that was super fun. Rifkin, what do you have tomorrow?
Tomorrow I have a whole board of duchesses and dukes and royal peers who are going to talk about reigning. It's going to be part 2 of the reigning episode, and this episode is going to be less about preparation and more about what happens when you actually reign, like expectations versus reality. So it should be really interesting, and lots of different perspectives. We have someone from the east, someone from the middle, Anstioria, Antir, Avical, the west. So it should be the last one was super interesting, so this one should be interesting too.
Yeah. And then oh wow, okay. I just totally spaced out for a second. On the Laurel's interview, we're having Viscountess Marion from the Summits, who is awesome, and she my husband was her sergeant. So she's a very instrumental person in his SCA life. And then Wednesday, we are interviewing Sir Justin de Leon,
who is a very thoughtful person and one of the main people in our kingdom in the DEI movement. Just a very, very thoughtful and interesting and deep thinker.
Yeah, and he's been playing since the 80s. He started in the Outlands and then moved to Antir. So he's also a really long-term player. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to see if I can stop it from streaming. There we go. Okay.